Hello my dear students. Today we are going to start a new chapter of class 8th history, that is the uprising of 1857. Beta, this is very important event in the modern Indian history. A very important landmark in Indian history. So now we study this event in detail. The uprising of 1857 is also known by the name of a revolt of 1857. Apart from this, one of the historians has also called this event as the first war of independence. Okay, so remember, if it is asked which event in the Indian history is known as the first war of independence, so it is revolt of 1857 or the uprising of 1857. But in this chapter, first I am giving you a concise detail what we are going to discuss. Firstly, we will discuss about the causes behind the revolt. What were the causes? Why such a large rebellion occur, which include almost whole of North India as well as the central Indian part. After discussing the causes of the revolt, then we discuss the event of how the revolt broke, then how it get spread up, then how it was suppressed by the Britishers and what were its after effects. Okay, so firstly now we start from the causes of revolt. With the causes of revolt, for the convenience of a study, we divide into these categories like the political causes, economic causes, military grievances, social and religious causes, and the most important, that is the immediate cause after which the revolt started. Okay, so first we discuss the political causes. One of the important political cause was the annexation policy of the Britishers. As you know, when Britishers came to India, they started annexing Indian territories one after the another. And for that, in the previous chapters you studied that they adopted various policies like the doctrine of lapse or the subsidiary alliance policy, and by all these policies they keep on annexing the Indian states. This annexation act as a dissatisfaction among the Indians, led to a dissatisfaction feeling among the Indians. Another reason for the dissatisfaction among the Indians against the British rule was the abolition of the title. Abolition of the title means, beta, Britishers said that now none of the king or the Nawab can have their title like Maharaj or the Nawab like this, if till it was sanctioned by the Britishers. So that was abolished. Pensioning of Nawab, the Nawabs of various states as well as even the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar, who was the last Mughal Emperor, he was also pensioned. Means they were said that now you are no more in the power and you are retired from your post and we will give you just the pension. Okay, so these three are the main political causes behind the revolt. Now we discuss the economic causes. The first economic cause was the land revenue policy. Regarding the land revenue policy, beta, you studied in the previous chapter. There were many land revenue policies started by the Britishers like the permanent settlement, Mehalwari settlement, Riotwari settlement, and all these settlements led to a high revenue demand from the Indian peasants and the zamindars. As the result, you all know that what happened, because the revenue demand was so high, the peasants and the zamindars were not be able to pay that, and as the result they lost their land which they were sowing from generations to generations. They lost their land, and this thing led to a feeling of dissatisfaction among the peasant class and the zamindar class. Second economic cause was that the sepoy, because of this land revenue policies which was adopted in the villages, you know that the sepoys who were recruited in the British army in India, they also belong to a rural background. obviously then these soldiers were also got affected by the land revenue policies, because if their family was affected, obviously then it led to the grievances of the sepoys also. Another economic reason was the Industrial Revolution, which firstly came in Britain, and after that its effect came on India. How? Because now Britishers start in the form of Indian colony, they found the market for their industrial good, and Indian market get flooded up with the industrial good coming from the Britain. As the result, the Indian handicraft industries as well as the textile handloom industries get destroyed up. Day by day the demand for their products decrease, and as the result they get shut down. So it has a very adverse effect on the Indian indigenous industries. Okay. Now beta, after discussing political and the economic cause, now we come on the military grievances, means the problems of the military, the Indian soldiers. Firstly, Indian soldier paid less. In the British army, which was stationed in India, they were both the soldiers, British soldiers as well as the Indian soldiers. But if both the soldiers were at the same post, in spite of that, both gave the same service, in spite of the fact that Indian soldiers were paid less as compared to that of the British soldiers. The salaries of Indian soldiers were less. This thing also led to a dissatisfaction feeling among Indian soldiers. They thought that when we are also providing the same service as that of the British soldier, then why we are paid less? Another thing was that Indian soldiers were also denied of any kind of a promotion. The highest post till which the Indian soldiers can be raised was that of the Subedar, and after Subedar they were not raised and given the further promotion. While at the same time the British soldiers were keep on promoting to a higher post. So this thing also dissatisfied Indian soldiers. Then the last and the very important thing among the soldier dissatisfaction, which led to a soldier dissatisfaction, was overseas services. What is overseas services? As you know, beta, the Britishers has the colony almost all over the world. At that time it was said that the sun of the British Samrajya never got set. ब्रिटिश साम्राज्य का सूरज कभी नहीं डूबता. It means that the British Empire was expanded from east to the west. Means their colonies were expanded all over the world. So they need our soldiers. That's why they demand the Indian soldiers also to provide their services whenever required in any part of the world. Whenever they need, like during the time of First World War also, Britishers took the part in the Britain took part in the First World War, and they asked the Indian soldiers to fight on their behalf. Okay. So, but what was the thing in India was that according to the Hindu religion, at that time there was a mythology in the Hindu religion that if a person crossed the sea, then he was dismissed from the religion as well as from the caste. He lost his religion as well as the caste. So none of the Indian soldier was ready to go to provide the overseas services. When Britishers came to know regarding this, then later on they made it compulsory. Whenever they recruit the Indian soldier, they made a paper and made the Indian soldier sign that it is compulsory for you to provide the overseas service also. And this thing dissatisfied the Indian soldiers because they don't want to lose their religion or get discarded from their caste. Okay. So beta, we discussed political cause, economic cause and military grievances. Now come to the social and religious causes behind the dissatisfaction among the Indians, which led to such a great revolt of 1857. Among the social and the religious cause, first was the abolition of the sati. The sati pratha, which was prevalent in India, was abolished by the legally in 1929, and this thing was seen by the Indians as the attack on their religion. After the passing of this act, then they passed another act, that was the Hindu Widow Remarriage Act in 1856. This act was also seen by the Indians as the attack on their religion. Indians don't like the interference of the Britishers in their religious practices. So this thing dissatisfied the Indians or make the Indians opposed to that of the Britishers. Then Britishers also made the laws according to which if any Indian, Hindu or the Muslim get converted to the Christianity, because Christian missionaries also came to India who preaches their religion and try to convert the people into Christianity. So Britishers made the law that if any of the person get converted to Christianity, then that person will not lost the right over its ancestor property. Earlier the law was that if the person get converted to any other religion, then he will lost all his right from on his ancestral land or the property. But now because of the coming of this new law that no one can deny the right of that person on their family property, the conversion became easier. This thing also seemed to be the danger of, as a thing of a danger on their religion by the Indians. One more thing was that the Britishers also imposed the taxation on the Indian religious institution, like that of the temple, mosque, on all these. Britishers imposed the tax and took the tax from these religious institutions. So Indians don't like this thing also, that why they are taking the tax from the religious institution. Okay. Now beta, now comes up the very important, that is the immediate cause. What is immediate cause? The cause after which instantly the revolt broke up, the rebellion broke up. So that was the introduction of grease cartridges. Grease cartridges. Cartridges means beta जो कारतूस guns में use होते हैं. Okay. At that time the new cartridges were introduced, and there was a rumor among the soldiers that these cartridges were coated by the fat of cow and pig, and the use of the fat of cow and pig was against the Hindu and the Muslim religion. That's why the soldiers, both the Hindu and Muslim soldiers, were not ready to use those cartridges, and they denied to use that. Then the incidents took place of that of the Mangal Pandey. Mangal Pandey refused to use those cartridges, and he shooted one of his officer, and after that he was hanged to death, and sometime after that the revolt started. Okay, so this is all about the causes behind the revolt. Thank you.